Hi, my name's Nathan Outlaw and I'm doing a turbot dish today, very similar to the dish I did on the Great British Menu. Turbot I consider to be one of the better fishes from the sea. I think it's one that should be used a lot more, but it is very expensive. Today I'm going to do the variation, the difference being is the sauce. The sauce is going to be a mayonnaise sauce as it was on the Great British Menu, but the difference is potted shrimp style instead of the tartar sauce style. Basically, when you're filling it, you can see there's actually quite a distinctive line. So if you stick to the line, you won't actually mess up the fillet when you're taking it off. When you bring the knife down through the fish, you can actually feel where the bones are, and as long as you guide yourself along them, you won't make a mistake. Very nicely cooked on the bone turbot, but becomes very expensive because you can only get about 4 portions of a fish. It's one of the most expensive fish you basically can buy off of the fish market at the moment, because there's not many of them. It's quite a rarity. You can to the skin, but don't go through the skin. And then trim it up a little bit. And with turbot, I do charge quite a lot for it on the menu, but what I like to do is give a nice portion of it. It's very important, I think, with a fish like this, because it is such a delicacy and it's not seen on many restaurant menus. It's good to make sure that the customer gets what they pay for. Okay, we've got a few garnishes that go with the turbot dish. The first one being Samphire, which is a local estuary sea vegetable, which is very fashionable at the moment. What we do is we'll pick some of this off. It is a wild product, so you've got to pick through it. Obviously, well, there might be some bugs and nasty things in there. So basically, all you need to do with Samphire is to pick off the bottoms and then gently steam it or boil it. All I'm going to do with this dish, though, is actually finish it off in the sauce. That's all it needs, is a little bit of heat. Some people call it sea asparagus. We just call it Samphire. Okay, the next garnish that's in the dish is another seasonal vegetable that we've got at the moment, which is broad beans. Always better when they come in fresh form. We've got some shallots that I've already sliced, basically on the round, as you can see. And then what we'll do is we actually get some red wine vinegar, red wine, water, and also a little bit of sugar, and we pickle them, and that brings the acidity to the dish and then cuts through the fat, because turbot has a little bit of fat to it, and also the sauce is quite heavy, so that's what they're there for. And then the actual whole thing is finished off with some cos lettuce. This is English cos lettuce, which is very good at the moment as well, so this is a very seasonal dish. Your turbot colour in there. Cook it. You don't want to cook it too harshly, because you want it to it is fish after all, and it will tighten up. So we're going to season it with a little bit of salt, rock salt or table salt, it doesn't really matter. As you can see on the turbot, it's starting to change colour slightly, which means it's halfway cooked. So now I know that it's ready to be turned over, and it should be nice and golden on the other side. As you can see, that's like that. Now what I do is, now while I'll get ready the sauce ready, I'll put this to the back of the stove, just to gently finish it off. Okay, to make the sauce, we've got our mayonnaise that's been seasoned with the cayenne pepper, the nutmeg, the lemon juice, and a little bit of salt. And all we do simply is we just take some fish stock, and we whisk it into there to get the consistency that we want. As you add heat to these sauces, these mayonnaise sauces, they will thicken up slightly, so towards the end of the cooking process, you might need to add a little bit more fish stock just to thin it down. Simple as that. Okay, now what I've got here is some potatoes that have been confit in a little bit of olive oil. Confit means slow cook. Really the only advantage of that is just to keep them nice and white until they're cooked right through. I'm just going to add them to the pan, and what that does is actually the flavour from the fish will actually get involved with the potatoes. Now while that's cooking, we'll take our sauce and warm that through. And when you're doing these sort of sauces, you have to put things into the actual sauce in the order of cooking. So the first thing that needs to be whittled down, the hardest thing we're putting into it, is the cos lettuce. Now that'll take a while. That'll take about 2 minutes, 3 minutes to wilt down. Everything you add to these style of sauces actually contains water, so don't actually loosen the sauce until you actually get to the end before you serve it. Okay, next we'll take the pickled shallots, which we did in the red wine vinegar, the red wine, the salt and water and the sugar. And as I said before, this adds the fat in the dish that'll actually cut through. And we take our Samphire, which is poor filly Samphire that comes from the estuary just outside the restaurant, which has been picked off, hasn't been cooked because it's going to cook through in the actual sauce there. And then we've got some broad beans, which are in season at the moment, which make a lovely addition to the dish. Okay, next to the sauce, because everything's starting to wilt down there, we're going to add our clams, which need literally just to be warmed up because they've already been cooked already. And what I've got here is some local poor filly clams that also come from the estuary just outside the restaurant. And they just need to be warmed through in the sauce. And that's as simple as that. Okay, first thing we'll do is take the potatoes that have been cooked in the pan with the fish. And some of our garnish. In there we've got the gem, the samphire, the shallots, the clams, and the broad beans. Then our fish will be cooked now, so we'll take our fish and place that on top of the garnish. And then we'll finish off the dish with a few more pieces of the samphire and a few of the clams. And a little bit of the sauce over the top. And last but not least, we'll take our what we got here is our infused oil with nutmeg, lemon and cayenne pepper. And there you have it. That's the South Coast turbot with poor filly clams, poor filly samphire, pickled shallots and broad beans with a mayonnaise potted shrimp sauce.